Hey, bestie. Okay, so immediately I was reminded of the alien baby straight off the bat. Yeah, so basically today we're tackling that. Letting Mari have the alien baby, aging Charlie up, and then trying to get money because honestly, as per usual, we are in fact broke. We are either slightly not broke or broke. Like, we never have a sustainable income. We aged Charlie up to toddler, and I definitely considered waiting until the infants update, but I figure since they have to have 3 kids, I'll just wait and have the 3rd kid after, so that way I can like experience the infant update with them. So yeah, I basically had to come back to this family. I have my clown outfit on because I thought that the infant update would have been that week of like end of January, early February, and well, that was a lie basically. So here I am back again, and I of course enrolled Charlie into public school because it is so very helpful with like learning skills, and I believe that they meet toddlers, but I'm not sure. But it's very helpful with skills, and having a place to put toddlers for like 8 hours or so of the day. And so basically here I was trying to figure out how I could like cheat age Egbert up, but I didn't see that that was an option. So I'm just gonna leave him and see if he ever ages up. But I put my big girl pants on, and I decided that I was gonna use the money that we had and buy a rooster, which you will see eventually, so that way we could at least try to get some more eggs, maybe some more chickens, just try to get the ball rolling with like the animal part of the farm, because the plant side is going pretty well, all things considered. And I think that's really where the majority of our money is coming from, really. The cow products, though, really quite helpful. Like I think it's like 100 simoleons every harvest, or like milking. Not bad. It really is quite nice. But like the chickens kind of need to like get on the cow's level, you know? And we've had them longer, so like they have no excuse. And so basically I've sort of like started a pattern of Mari does like the animal stuff, like the animal side of the farm, and Andy sort of tackles the planting because like I had to get her gardening skill up. Yeah, and Cecilia called, so I figured I'd send her over. I was originally going to deny it, but I figured why not accept, because at this point I was still kind of on the fence about what I wanted to do with her. But she gets very interesting toward like the end of the episode / in a like maintenance video that I have coming out about the Lucid Legacy save. We find out some things about Cecilia, some very life-changing things. So yeah, I think we're just gonna keep her as a friend. Oh, and we also found out, like right at this moment, that apparently like they're not compatible romantically. So like clearly we didn't have a chance from the start, but like we doubly don't have a chance once we like learn some more things. Basically, our goal, pretty much every episode so far, has been trying to make money, and like enough money. And I keep circling back to those like favors that we accepted, but some of those items are like seasonal, so like we have to wait, I think, till like winter to get all the items, which is very unfortunate. It's there technically, so we sort of have to look for other ways to make money while the crops are growing, and we wait for like a harvest. So I've been having Andy do like cross stitch, and of course I already said like Mari's been working on like the animals, and when she isn't pregnant with an alien, fishing was definitely something that she really liked doing, and that made quite a bit of money because she was really starting to get good at it. And some bell content for all the bell lovers out there. Of course, my fox PTSD was kicking in. I'm always so cautious of the foxes now whenever they're around like the chickens or the rabbits, because I've seen the lasting effects of foxes on innocent farm animals. So I always check. Oh, so here is where we purchase a rooster, so that way we don't have to wait for Egbert to eventually maybe age up. Oh, and I named him Egander, and I was trying to think of another fun egg name, like just off the top of my head, but it was like 2 a.m. when I recorded this, so I was thinking Alexander, but replace Alex with egg, and then I got Eggander. And I kind of like it. I think it's gonna stick. It makes absolutely no sense, but you know what? It's fun. And so I figured I'd have Wade, interact with the farm animals as he's been attempting to do. And clearly a gander was not having it, and I felt really bad, so I figured, like, let's go for something slightly less dangerous, and bond with a bunny. And like, I thought things were going so well, and then he like tries to pet the bunny, and the bunny's not having it. And I felt really, really bad. And so I tried a third time. And I figured, like, Belle's nice. Like, she understands that he's little. Like, I don't think that she'd be mean to him. because he's had no luck with like any of the other farm animals. Like, luckily I was right, because it went really well with Belle, but I also didn't want to push it too much. So I just had him like stare at her and try to like passively build up the relationship. And then suddenly we got a call from Judith, and basically saying that like the power company was shutting off our power, and I mean, we couldn't pay the bills anyway, so like it was gonna get shut off anyway. But like, I don't know what mod that comes with, or if that's a mod, but I think that's really cool. And we were not prepared at all for that, like at all. We had no backups. And then I like spotted a crime, but luckily I got there before it was like a proper crime, and I thought it very fitting to name him Sherlock 2.0. In honor of the first Sherlock that didn't have as much luck as this one did. Oh, and then I remembered that it was Spooky Day, and I figured I'd have the kids at least dress up. And I figured I'd send Mari fishing, because I figured that like she'd be kind of irritated that like this entire thing was happening to her, and at least try to get something fun done that would also help get us money. So I sent her fishing, and I had Andy come and try to like plead with the fox to not eat Sherlock 2.0. And then by that point I probably had been off for a while, so like a lot of the leftovers, I'm assuming, probably went bad, which sucks because we already had like so few things to eat as is that the power going out was really not very helpful. Yeah, and so since it was both kids' birthdays, I realized that like Charlie's birthday was easy because you just like click on the bassinet and then age her up. But we didn't have a cake in the fridge, and we had no power. So I had to get Andy to go to a restaurant, secure a table, order a cake, take it home, put the candles on, and then age up Wade. Oh, and we finally, by that point, had enough money to pay the bills, so the power went back on. I just wanted to like gather everyone together so that they could all like be present for Wade's birthday. And I was trying to find a good angle, as per usual, to watch as he like blew out the candles. And then I put some more candles in it and then put it in the fridge, so that way, just in case anything else were to happen, we'd at least have something. And at first I was going to randomize this trait, but then I figured I'd just choose it. And I chose Animal Enthusiast, and I wanted him to be like the little like Country Caretaker mini, because I feel like it's a bit early to like make this decision, but I feel like Wade would probably be the one to like take over the farm and like keep everything going, being like the eldest. And I'm gonna wait until the third baby arrives before I like make any decisions. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be between Charlie and the third kid of who's gonna be like the heir. I'm thinking probably the third kid, because I usually sort of like to do like the youngest will be the heir, so you get like the most time with them. And so I gave the family makeovers because I mean the kids aged up, so it clearly was about time for like some stuff to change a bit. And the seasons changed to fall, so I wanted it to be like slightly warmer clothes than they had on. But yeah, I didn't really change much about the adults, just like changed up the hair a bit and gave them warmer clothes, but like the kids got like proper makeovers. And once I loaded back in from Cass, I completely forgot that it was Spooky Day. So I was like, why is there a child at the front door? But then I was like, oh, it's Spooky Day. She doesn't have on a costume, to be fair, so a little surprised. But, she had a reason to be there. And so I figured I'd get Wade to maybe talk to her, since it's like his first child experience. At least to be able to know like one other kid at school, even just barely, would probably be nice. And ironically, it was the Fung's daughter from City Living, and they like notoriously don't like kids, so I don't know how that happened. I'm assuming probably a mixture between like Neighborhood Stories and MCC. But they had kids, at least one, so. And then because Mari has been like extremely tired because, pregnant Sims needs go down crazily fast, I had Andy do like some of the work with the chickens, and then of course like do the normal crop work. And like I still wanted, the family to be pretty close, so I wanted Mara to come and help Wade with his first ever homework. And then I also realized that like I couldn't put it off any longer, and I actually had to decide about like what I wanted to do with the baby, basically, like how I wanted her to have it, and eventually what we do with it, basically. But I realized that Wade was a child, so he couldn't sleep in his toddler bed, so we just got him like a cot, because we were also hopelessly broke at this point and could not afford like an actual bed. So yeah. It's not ideal, but you know. And we also put it in the living room. So yeah, again, not ideal, but it served its purpose. And then we just do like normal farm morning things, like making sure the animals are fine, doing the crops, getting that together. And then a fox stole an egg, but it wasn't a hatchable egg, so like I wasn't really too upset about it. And the quality was poor, so again, it's kind of like a freebie egg. I don't really mind too much, but the chickens usually get pretty scared whenever the foxes come by. But then I like sort of was trying to complete a couple of the tasks for the like final section of the Country Caretaker aspiration. We eventually get to working on our relationship with a chicken. Pretty sure we work on our relationship with Eglena, and she helps with the part about like maxing a relationship with like a farm animal. And then Charlie was off to her first day of preschool, so I had to get a screenshot. Yeah, and then Eglena got kind of tired of Andy, so we sort of just pivoted slightly to getting bunny gifts to give her like a minute, and then tried to like get back into it because I kind of forgot that was part of the aspiration, and I've been so like distracted by the baby, the alien baby that is, that I haven't really been focusing on the aspiration as much. And then I saw a fox, and by the time I saw it, it was like too late to do anything. And I was like, oh no, it's happened again. And I like let my guard down, and then bam. And this time it was a chicken, not even a rabbit, like a chicken. Agatha of all chickens too. But luckily Agatha knew how to fight, so. But basically the fox scared all the chickens back into the coop, so we sort of had to like circle back to our initial objective of trying to get our relationship maxed. And then after we sold all the crops, we had like enough money to give Wade a proper bed and like some activities for both the kids. And a desk so that he doesn't have to do his homework at the kitchen table anymore. And like some slight decorations. And we finally replaced all of the money laundering cabinets that we've had to put up and then immediately sell whenever we're too broke. And I wanted to get some like frames. At first I wanted to get the digital frames, but then I got some like custom content frames that are in really cute shapes that you can like put the pictures in. So yeah, I just wanted the place to have a bit more decoration, and so it's not just like bare bones. And I got a tree that has lanterns and swings, which is also CC from Colino, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, basically just trying to make it not so bare necessities and like things like night lights and stuff and like bath mats, like just decorations, because we finally had just enough that we could get some decorations. And I also put a punching bag because I feel like Andy would kind of want to exercise a bit, just as like a hobby, And then I basically have to remember that like we can't sell all the milk because they have like that particular lot trait that like you have to have ingredients for everything that you cook or else you cook nothing. So definitely needed some milk for some things, so we kept some. And Wade wanted to invite over the Fung child that he met from trick-or-treating, so I had them like swing together. And basically I sort of wanted Mari to sort of talk about the alien baby, because I feel like we just sort of brushed right past it with everyone. But like she's very clearly pregnant, and I feel like she should probably talk to Andy about that. But yeah, I tried to just get them to discuss the baby. I had Mari ask Andy to like accompany to childbirth. Basically just talk about it, clear the air a bit, And then I had Andy use her new cool punching bag. And I wanted Wade to come and play with his sister so that way they could have like a close relationship. And also he was getting nauseous on the swing, so. And we need more chairs, so I wanted to have Mari craft some of those, but then I realized that we also need more garden planters, so I had her do that because I feel like that was a bit more necessary than dining chairs. And you really have to like prioritize with the woodworking table. And so after Andy was done with like the punching bag thing, I wanted her to like finish it off, like just max out her relationship. And I don't know why Charlie was so angry with Wade in this moment, but like she looked at him so mean, like, and then she started making a mess. Like I don't know what, it's the school. Something is wrong with the public school, because like all the kids come back from public school incredibly angry or sad, and I don't know. I feel like we should be asking more questions about that. But then the Fang child was sitting on the bed and I'm like, I feel like she should probably go home, because Wade has just like not been interested in playing with her at all, aside from like the swings, and now she's like inside. Then we finally did that portion of the aspiration, and I wanted Wade to do his homework, and I figured I'd just have Charlie work on toddler skills. So now the last section of the aspiration that we have left is just to win the Finchwick Fair. But for the challenge, we have to win 2, I believe. So we just went back to planting, because that's sort of the cycle that we're in right now. Is just planting, putting all of our energy into making sure that they're as big as possible, selling them, getting very happy because we finally have money, buying stuff for the house, being broke, and then doing it all over again. So yeah, it was time to sort of start that cycle again. And I wanted to like diversify our portfolio of plants a bit. So I went for, I believe, lettuce and pumpkin. And, you know, because normally I just do like one plain crop, but like I figured I'd mix it up a little. And I want to eventually, hopefully, when we get money, hopefully enough money, sort of like section it out so like each crop can have its own like little like planting field. And we can have like multiple fields with like different crops. And I'm trying to get Mari to like teach Charlie things. Like, I'm pretty sure she was teaching her how to talk. Yeah, basically have Mari like hold down the family fort while Andy was like trying to get us money by like doing all the planting. High chair to the table so that way she could like be part of the table action. I don't know. So that way she wouldn't be like separated, so that like her and her brother can have moments like this where they're like both at the table and like they can talk to each other. And I really love that table from the Werewolves pack. Like, it's extremely rustic, and then it has like this book that one of the legs is propped up on. Yeah. that pack has like great furniture for like a challenge sort of like this, basically, where like you want some things to be run down. And then this was like a Scott child. I didn't even know that the Scotts had children, but apparently they had a daughter that I think I wanted Wade to talk to, but I don't think it was in the cards because I got distracted. So yeah, but like we're aware of her existence in this moment, which hopefully means that the Scotts are doing better relationship wise. But then Charlie started being mean to her brother, so it was time for her to go to sleep because she was tired and angry. And basically we were just doing like need stuff, like taking care of the needs, making sure that people do the stuff that they have to do, whatever their like chore. In Wade's case was just doing his homework and then going to sleep, but like anything that they had to do basically was just getting it out the way and then putting them all to sleep. And so because Mari and Andy were like super exhausted, I had them like go to sleep for a little while. But then I remembered that Andy only had like less than half actually, of the crops planted. So I basically had to wake up again like a couple hours later and like finish off all of the planting. Because it's like insanely important that they like all planted at the same time. Or at least as close to the same time as possible. so we wouldn't like mess up the flow. And it literally took Indy like all night to do this. But then Mari went into labor and I was like, this is like the worst possible timing for her to do this. But I wanted the kids to be able to go to school. So I sent Charlie to preschool. And Andy was extremely busy with the crops, like making sure they were all watered and everything. And again, it's just awful timing. The alien baby could not have come at a worse time. But luckily we had about 2 to 3 hours before we had to do anything. So I had Mara get herself together while we were stalling, so that way Andy could finish some of her farm chores. And so yeah, I had to cheat her energy a bit because she was super exhausted, and I really just needed her to finish it. It was super important that they were just watered at the same time. And I was trying to get Mari to do something to distract her, but she was super uncomfortable, so I just had her eat in the meantime. And so then I thought about it, and I was I just kind of want to send her alone. I wanted to try out that give birth on the spot thing that was part of the Panda Samoa childbirth mod update, but she wasn't fully dilated, and I really didn't feel like having to go through all that for an alien baby that I wasn't too excited about. So I just had her give birth at the hospital by herself. And yeah. I figured, she'd want to be at a hospital, not at home, because she's having an alien, I feel like that would be mildly concerning to her. So I figured, hospital is probably the best bet for having an alien. Yeah, and then so she had the baby, and I had to think of a name, and I named her Stella. A bit cliche, but I thought it was cute. So, and she turned out to be green, which is kind of fitting for this generation. But basically, right, I sort of made the decision by this point of putting her up for adoption. But with you sort of basically have to have a conversation with your partner about it, and depending on what they say, it depends on how smoothly the process goes. So I figured I'd have her feed her, and then she can talk to Andy about everything. And so basically, yeah, I had her talk to Andy about putting Stella up for adoption, because like she just did not fit in with this generation or this family. But like I didn't want to send her back to the homeworld, because I feel like, you know, she deserves to have like a full life and not just like disappear into the void that is space with that interaction. So I figured that like Andy would be understanding. Like, it's an alien baby that she didn't necessarily want to have, you know, and I don't think she'd like force her to keep it or anything. So basically, instead of like looking for a host family, I figured the best person to give it to would be Cecilia, because, you know, she was just a single person, and I sort of treated their relationship so that they would be more friends, so that way her picture would pop up when we clicked on like the who to give it to. But I figured they'd be like close at this point, so I figured they wouldn't feel as bad if they knew that like she'd go somewhere where she'd be happy, you know, and with like a decent person. So yeah, I like gave Stella to Cecilia, and you know, Mari was pretty cool about it. She was actually pretty okay. Andy got like really sad about it. Like, not right now, but like you can see it in like the moodlet cue. Yeah, there it goes. She gets really sad about it. And she feels really bad. It's because like she really wants kids, and I believe she's family oriented. So yeah, that really affects how they feel about like giving kids away or having kids taken away or anything. And like Mari's also like that, and she had the sad moodlets, but like I'm sure she was definitely probably a bit more relieved than Andy. And so I figured like her coping mechanism for being depressed would be to like pour all her energy into like the farm and like gardening. And for storytelling purposes, that's very nice, but also because I need her to max the gardening skill for the challenge. And I believe she's at like level 7 or something like that, and she's like really close. So I figured, you know, it's the best of both worlds. Have her like pour all the sadness into the garden. And then I realized that we had Stella's birth certificate, and it's like the alien birth certificate. So I like named it so that way we'd know generations from now like whose birth certificate that was. And that's another reason why I didn't want to send her back to the homeworld, like because she'd just like completely disappear like off of the family tree and everything. And I don't really think that's fun. Like I want to see like where her line goes, especially since this is like a legacy challenge. I want to see how she affects the family tree. And then Charlie got back from school sad, and she's either sad or angry. And like, again, I really feel like we should probably look into that. Don't know what that's about, but I figured Mari would take care of her, since Andy was 1, depressed, but 2, busy with the farm. So we had her change her diaper and then give her a bath. And also just comfort her. And also we found out that Sarah Scott is apparently pregnant right now, which was very surprising given the rocks that I thought their marriage was on. But you know, she's having a baby. yeah, but so that's where I left it for this episode. It felt short, but it was still quite a long episode. Our aspiration is looking pretty good, family's looking pretty good, and yeah.